What's up? Welcome into your Buckeye Rush Hour for a Friday, June 28th, 2024. Welcome in, last Friday of the month. And this is also another edition of Breaking Boomz. We got another one, landed a big one, a big, huge fish today. That's a whopper. So she said, you know that. Anyways, I hope everybody's having a good summer. Had to take a few weeks off, so it's good to be back. I missed you guys. That's not a lie. Serious. It's not a lie. No, I did. I missed you guys and all of your lovely comments and questions. So get those in there. Drop them in the live chat. Anything goes. It's summertime. It's dark and hell is hot. A wise man once said. Well, a man at least once said. So I love doing a breaking boom, especially on a live show. We haven't done that before, I don't think. But so let's get into it. I'm going to talk Trajen Odom commitment first, and then we'll get into some more spicy recruiting action. It's hot, hot action. So let's do it. It's hot out there in them streets, and the Buckeyes are on fire around the Woody. Buckeyes pick up another key piece in this class of 2025. Coach Jay is on fire. That man deserves maybe a few extra days of vacation right about now. So Trajen Odom commits to the Buckeyes, 6'4", 285 out of Weddington High School in Matthews, North Carolina. It's kind of a suburb of Charlotte, I'm told. I just took somebody's word for it. I don't know if that's true. 4-star, 9054, nationally ranked number 283, number 31 D lineman, number 7 player in North Carolina. And, Larry Johnson, that's his ballpark along the East Coast there, DMV, NC. Maybe they need to add a couple of letters to that acronym, DMVNC. So great work here by Larry Johnson and Alan Clark. Larry Johnson's GA also gets the assist here. So going back to Odom's junior year, can we call him T.O., Trajen Odom? Can we get away with that, or is it too soon? I like T.O., but kind of rolls off the tongue. Does have some negative connotations, though, because of previous T.O.s. Anyway, junior season at Weddington, Trajen, we'll call him, had 54 tackles, 22 TFLs, 4 sacks, a forced fumble in just 10 games. His sophomore year, 41 tackles, 11 TFLs, 5 sacks in 11 games. He's your 3 tech coming in. He could probably move down to nose, but as of right now, he's penciled in as a 3 tech for the Buckeyes. He's originally from California, so there was speculation that his final 3 of Ohio State, Oregon, and USC, maybe he was interested in the West Coast. One of those teams is not on the West Coast, by the way. So he had almost 40 offers. In the end, he said, quote, "It was a really hard decision between USC, Ohio State, and Oregon. I just always went back and forth with the pros and the cons. It was a hard journey, but what was telling me was having those close connections, genuine connections with the Ohio State coaches." So the Buckeyes hosted Odom for 3 separate visits since March. His official visit was early in June, June 7th to the 9th. That was his first of the 3 visits he took. So that's the one case where having the last visit isn't always best. First visit actually still rang true. So on his official visit, he was able to get in depth with Ryan Day, learn more about his plans for the future of the Ohio State program. Odom said, quote, "Coach Day has plans to elevate their championship winning program. With Ohio State, it's about development. They're a winning program, competing for championships, and that's where I see myself. The culture there, the brotherhood, it's a true family feel. I know all the coaches and the staff are going to take care of me. Life after football, that's a big piece at Ohio State. They're going to get me right in whatever I want to do." So hitting all the key points there: brotherhood, family feel, life after football. all the talking points that the Buckeyes try to hammer home with these kids. Back in March, Odom talked about the growing connection between him and Coach Jay. He said, quote, "The connection I have with Coach Johnson and Alan Clark now is great. I never really knew how many draft picks Coach Johnson has coached and developed." So good. He's commitment number 21 for the top ranked Buckeye class. Well, almost. Buckeyes are actually just like 100th of a point behind LSU now in the 24/7 rankings. He's the first defensive tackle to commit to the Buckeyes, although I'll say London Merritt, I think, is going to possibly slide inside. I don't know. It depends on how big he gets over this coming year, but we'll talk about that later. So London Merritt could be a D tackle, but the Buckeyes could add a couple more interior linemen. You got Maxwell Roy, Marion Dye just committed to Tennessee a little while ago, but you also have Malik Autry, the Auburn commit. So that's going to be a long recruitment. We'll talk about him in a little later probably. But we know Coach Johnson has come up short in the number of defensive linemen in the past two classes. He hasn't hit his numbers, but this current class of 2025 does not have that issue. It helped that Coach Jay signed a multi-year extension back in January. The negative recruiting can't point to that anymore as an issue. Still point to his age, but it's just a number. So the Ohio State D-line group could get very thin at D tackle after this year. You got Ty Hamilton, Tyleik Williams on the way to the NFL, and you could possibly lose Tywone Malone, depending on what kind of year he has. So let's look at the big board here. Let me show you the big board. Keep it clean. Let's see if I can make this. Can you make it smaller? No, I can't. So anyways, here we're looking at Coach Walton. He's going to be first on this list through signing day. I guarantee you that. So he's got his two commits, the two corners, a 9.87 average. Larry Johnson now has 4 commits, a 9.47 average. Matt Guerrieri, 3 commits, 9.26. Justin Fry, 2 commits, a 9.24. These are the average recruiting rating. Laurinaitis with 2 at a 0.922. Carlos Lachlan, Coach Locke, 2.919. Brian Hartline, 3, a 0.918. Just missed it. And Keenan Bailey, 2 with a 0.910. Don't look for that to change much at all. So I don't include Tavian St. Clair in this list because he committed to Ryan Day, not Corey Dennis, not Chip Kelly. So TSC, he's a 5-star quarterback just outside Columbus, less than an hour. So anyways, all right. What else? Let's look at the team rankings here. And load it. All right. Yeah. LSU is in first now when you go by average per commit. This is what we do here. LSU is a 93.71. Sorry, 93.71. The Buckeyes are a 93.70. So just 100th of a point off. They have 12 commits. We have 21. I imagine their number is going to dip when they start bringing in more of those 3 stars. Bama is a 9344. Oregon 9321. And I don't know if that includes Jordan Davison. Jordan Davison just committed a few minutes ago. Yes, it does. Okay. So that's including Jordan Davis in Oregon is 4th with a 9321. Clemson 9301. Georgia 9294. And then Auburn 9146. That's the cheaters are, let me count, 2, 4, 6, 8th, up to 8th. They got 12 commits. When did that happen? Was I asleep? But they're a 9118. Yeah, they landed a couple guys. Yeah, bunch of 3 stars. Jeez. They have one, two, three, 4 stars. The rest are 3 stars. So quality is what we're looking for here, folks. So yeah, that's Trajan Odom, not to be known as TO on the show, I guess. We'll see what you guys think. The question for the chat. This is very simple, straightforward, yes or no, thumbs up, thumbs down, however you want to communicate it. How are you feeling about the Buckeye recruiting right now? Good, bad, or on the fence? Still a lot of big fish out there, sitting on 21 commitments right now. I think we're going to hit 30, like without even trying. We still want to add 3 O linemen, a wide receiver, no tight ends. We got 2. Excuse me, Jesus Christ. A running back, 1 or 2 DBs. That could be corner or safety. 2 D linemen or 1 D lineman and 1 jack position. Justin Hill, table for 2. And then 1 linebacker, 1 true linebacker. So who's next? Let's talk about it. Defensive end Marion Dye just committed to Tennessee today. Running back Jordan Davison committed to Oregon. What about that rumor about Jordan Davison checking into his official visit at Ohio State last weekend at 240 pounds? Oh, shit. That's not a good look. He didn't look great in that 7-on-7 at Rivals camp. Some of the clips I saw looked a little slow, which you will be when you're 240 pounds. Trust me. I'm not 240 pounds, but I could imagine I'm not far off, probably. Crystal ball action as it sits right now. The interior O lineman, Andrew Stargell, he's got a crystal ball in for UCF. UCF making moves, making waves. They got that Disney money. Don't forget that. They've got some other corporate money there too, but I'm sure they're hitting up the Mickey Mouse for some dollars. And then you got defensive end Javion Campbell. He's got a couple crystal balls to Bama right now. D tackle Jarquez Carter, Miami is the crystal ball right now. Vernell Brown. Let's talk a couple of receivers here. Vernell Brown the third, our guy Vernie Three Sticks, we call him. Looks like Florida. Looks like he's staying home and playing for Dad's team at the Gators. And then you got Jamie French. Got another crystal ball in this week for Texas, otherwise known as Lambeau Lamborghini University. So not a surprise there. He hasn't really talked about Ohio State recently. So, and it's hard, when you see the 2024 Ohio State receiver class come in, Jeremiah Smith is going to dominate reps for the next 3 years. Is anybody going to unseat him? No. And then you got Chris Henry coming in 2026. So that in-between class, the 2025, it's going to be tough to get a high-end. Quincy Porter's good. Don't get me wrong. I really like him. And he's a high-end 4-star, borderline 5, in my opinion. But I think that's why you take these projects like BP Miller out of Mansfield and things like that. So Des Jones out of Jersey, these guys are not highly rated, but I think it's going to be tough to pull in like a 5-star Decorian Moore, in this class. I would love it. It would be awesome. But, these guys are looking at what's already coming, what's there now in Columbus and what's coming in 2026. And it's like, man, that's a loaded room. But we do play 3 wide receivers, So you got Ennis chomping at the bit. He wants to get on the field too. So I see the difficulty, and it's good for Ryan Hartline to have a development project, and a tough recruiting cycle. I just hope this doesn't turn out like the 2022 class where everybody leaves and Kojo is just sitting there. But anyways, good news for the Buckeyes. We do have crystal balls rolling in, a bunch of them for Maxwell Roy. He's a D tackle. 6'3", 270 out of St. Joe's Prep. We are dominating St. Joe's Prep in Philly. We've got a pipeline there. Kind of a newer pipeline, I'd say. 4-star, he's a 9199, nationally ranked, number 221, number 25 D lineman, number 8 player in Pennsylvania. He's got a commitment date of July 1st. So that's Monday, if you have a calendar. So it looks really good. I got 5 crystal balls in for him to the Buckeyes. Wait, let me double check that, because he was predicted to go to Michigan and somebody flipped theirs. One of these assholes, probably Sam Webb. I don't trust that dude as far as I can throw him. So 5 crystal balls. Somebody flipped theirs. There was one in for Michigan a week ago. But anyways, so I'm looking at Maxwell Roy to be a Buckeye. So that gives us another D lineman, and holding out for Justin Hill. I think he's going to be a Buckeye. He's announcing July 3rd. That is Wednesday, hump day. So yeah, we got Roy on Monday, Hill on Wednesday. I'm planning out my week in my head of Breaking Boomz shows. And then we got, like I said, Justin Hill. I think he's a Buckeye. They do need to get some actual footage in game, in an Ohio State game, of the defense using the jack position successfully would be nice. Actually using somebody at the jack. Could be Mitchell Melton, could be Joshua Mickens. I don't care. Somebody has to get in there at the jack. CJ Hicks, whatever. So otherwise, you're going to lose Justin Hill, guaranteed. Because he's still considering Bama and Oregon, and they use that position. So then I got cornerback Dorian Brew, cornering. He silently committed to the Buckeyes back in January, had his graphics done and all that shit. So I think he's still going to commit to the Buckeyes. He pulled back on that when Perry Eliano left, or was shown the door, actually. So I still think we're in it for Dorian Brew, but you got USC, Texas, kind of neck and neck there. But the big one I'm looking at is Riley Pettijohn, the linebacker out of Texas. I know I've heard Texas A&M is in it, Texas, of course, and nobody in the state of Texas, like they have Ohio State blinders on. They don't believe that the Buckeyes are part of this race. Well, they actually are, and I think we're in the lead. I think we get Riley Pettijohn, and I think Laurinaitis is going to lock him up. And I feel really good about those 4 guys. Maxwell Roy on Monday announcing, Justin Hill on Wednesday. Dorian Brew is supposed to be announced. Oh, I just broke. Oh, something happened. Anyway, Maxwell Roy, there, I lost my spot. Justin Hill, Dorian Brew is supposed to be announcing within the next week. And then Riley Pettijohn, the same. I've heard speculation on his announcement day, but nothing concrete. So we'll see what happens there with those guys. Could be a busy week leading up to the 4th of July. We could get 4 in a row almost in some fashion. So then you got the D tackle Malik Autry, committed to Auburn. He's wearing all the Buckeye stuff at the rivals camp and shit. Got a Buckeye towel on. He's got Buckeye gloves. So we'll see. We'll see. Like he had a Buckeye hoodie or a shirt or something. So Malik Autry is probably getting worked pretty well by the Alabama guys, Naeem Offord and our guy Zion Grady. So we'll see what happens. I'm a coin flip there. I can't call it. I'm not calling it. Fuck no. But all right, let's check out the chat, see what the hell's going on. Who's in here? Hey, folks, while you're staggering through the door, please hit the like button. I greatly appreciate it. And if you're subscribed, you'll get notified every time we go live or release a show. So, all right, let's talk about it. Billy's the first one in. What's up, Billy? Billy says, welcome back, Joe. Thank you, Billy. What a warm welcome. Travis says, OH, IO to you, Travis. Billy IO. Travis says, sup, Billy. Boom. Tyler says, boom. Billy says, Odom has definite beast potential. Yeah, I agree. Dude is a monster. And I'm just happy we're getting some 4 stars along the D line, not some projects or, lower rank 3 stars. We're actually getting some quality there. I think that's important. Odysseus says Sanders is a must get. Yeah. Same area as Odom in the Charlotte area. I assume those high schools might run across each other. So that would be a matchup to watch, maybe. But yeah, I agree. I feel good about David Sanders too. I did forget to mention him. Um, he's in my big fish category. So yeah, I feel good. There's been a lot of speculation, some eyeball emojis being posted on Twitter by David Sanders when these guys are committing to Ohio State this week. So uh, I feel good, but it's really hard pulling these guys out of the South. We've done well so far with this class, but O line is a different animal, to put it mildly. Tyler says Larry Johnson is putting in work. He is. Yep. And don't forget about Clark, the GA. Travis says Trajan's film reminds me of Mike Hall. Am I crazy? No, I agree. Very quick feet. He's got those hands. He's already learned some of his hand fighting techniques that Larry likes to teach. So that's a good thing. Uh, Billy says Sanders High School versus Odom High School, August 26th. Okay, there we go. Boom. August 26th. That's probably week 1, right? Week 1 or 2 for them right out of the gates. The question is, do they get matched up? Is Odom going to line up outside over Sanders, the tackle, or is he going to line up inside since he's a bigger dude, D tackle guy? I don't know if they'll go face to face much. Maybe on a twist or a stunt, down inside, he might get matched up on Sanders. But yeah, that would be interesting to watch. That should be like a national game on ESPN or something. Tyler says Sanders is going to be a Buckeye. I'm very confident. I'm with you, Tyler. I feel good about him too. I think the Ohio State staff has done a great job of taking that thought that the family had of Columbus being so far away from Charlotte, taking that completely out of the equation. That's not an issue. It's like a 45-minute flight, and with NIL helping out, there's no reason that his family can't fly to every game. And if you want to get nuts and fly to every away game, you should be able to do that too. So I think the staff's done a good job on the parents there. Paris Johnson's mom, Monica Daniels, helping out a lot there. And then Team Sanchez, Devin Sanchez's parents, big time recruiting group. Those guys are awesome. Billy says 100% Tyler. Billy agrees. So everybody's feeling good about the Buckeye David Sanders. Speak it into existence, right? Doug Shepard says, hello, fellow Buckeye fans. Hello, Doug. How are you? Tyler says, Billy, I'm very confident. Yeah, I'm feeling it. Odysseus says the negative recruiting on LJ will be less effective going forward with the new NCAA coaches rule. That's a good point. Larry Johnson won't have to hit the road anymore. Maybe occasionally, maybe if it's in driving distance, but he won't have to travel. And now he can send Alan Clark, the GA, out, but he'll be an analyst. They'll no longer need GAs at all. That's just a loophole they use to get an extra coach in a position room, like they did with Laurinaitis last year. So now you can have theoretically you can have your coaching staff in Columbus 100% of the time, send out your analysts or your assistant coaches assistant to the position coaches, assistant to the regional managers, send them out on the travel, do the, meet and greets with the high school coaches, things like that. So theoretically you could do that and spare Larry Johnson the travel. And you're still going to get his tutelage if you commit to the Buckeyes. He's still going to be able to coach, even if he's in a lesser role, not a travel role. So Billy says also starting to gain some hope for landing Autry. That's going to go all the way to December. That's not going to end anytime soon. So, yeah, that's going to be a long one. That's what she said. Odysseus says now Clark can be designated recruiting coach. Exactly what I'm saying. Yeah. And LJ will still coach the D line when they get to Ohio State. Exactly what I'm saying. Yep. Yeah. So you get the best of both worlds, really. And maybe, Larry Johnson can go home a little earlier than, 9 o'clock. But back to the chat here. Tyler brings up a good one. Jakeem Stewart. He says, I'm also very confident that we're getting Jakeem Stewart. Yeah. He's definitely going to reclassify to 2025. So the good thing about that for us fans, is you take a whole year of recruiting out of the equation and we don't have to worry for 18 months, So yes, I agree. I think we're in really good shape for Jakeem Stewart. Again, I got to keep giving my guy Alan Clark a pat on the back because he's from Louisiana. Stewart's from New Orleans. So that having Clark in the room and working with these kids every day, just having that person from the Bayou, that just means so much more when you're trying to pull kids out of Bama, out of Louisiana, wherever. So he's really going to help. He's helping actually. Billy says, I wonder if they're grooming Alan Clark to take over for Larry. Clark killing it in recruiting. Exactly. Yeah. I would say yes. Larry's not going to do this for another 10 years. He could take a backseat role, still be a quote unquote analyst, assistant coach, whatever, where he's still in the building every day working with the kids. But yeah, I called this 2 years ago when they brought in Alan Clark, a year and a half ago. It was like in January. I did a Daily Blitz episode that said they just brought in Larry Johnson's successor, but it just takes time for it to play out, right? I mean, last year, like a year ago, we expected the NCAA to pass this unlimited coaches, where analysts can coach on the field and stuff. So this was supposed to be passed a year ago to make these staffs unlimited. It finally happened a year later because that's why they had to make Laurinaitis a GA last year. Now it passes, and yeah, you got Clark taking over, and finally you're going to see this happen at every position group. Devin Jordan with the receivers, Mike Seleni with the O-line. Maybe he gets promoted to Justin Fry's job. I know a lot of you would love that. Anyway, just jokes. Odysseus says Merritt owned the Cheaters offensive tackle Gatch. Yeah, I'm not impressed with Gatch, and I think there's a reason why he wasn't offered by the Buckeyes. Odysseus says also Scamweb had to crystal ball a D tackle he was sure was all scum to the Buckeyes. Yeah, I know. I hate that guy. Does anybody like Sam Webb? Douche. Douche. Oh, thanks. Tyler says, great, Joe. Okay, this is the answer to how do you feel about the Buckeye recruiting right now? Tyler feels great. Travis, very good. Okay. Odysseus, great. Need to hold on through December, though. Yep. That's always the trouble. You're gonna you gotta kind of take the good with the bad. You're gonna, break some eggs when you make an omelet. You're gonna lose one or two. between now and December. And we're actually under the 85 limit. So we're going to go to week one into fall camp even under the 85 limit. I think we're down around 82 or 83. So there's just nobody worth bringing in. So it's good that everybody's feeling upbeat about the Buckeye recruiting. Billy says, muy bueno. Oh, saucy. Oh, Billy. Bilingual Billy. Odysseus says Bo Jackson is better anyway. Oh, then Davison. Fuck yeah. Yeah, I would say. No kidding. Much better. Give me a Bo Jackson. Billy says UCF is a sleeping giant. Yeah, I agree. They got one of the largest fan or largest alumni bases in the country. Again, that corporate money, Mickey Mouse, chipping them off. So Billy says West is also better. Yeah, I can't argue that. I like Isaiah West. I think he's sorely underrated. And the coaches do too. So yeah, I feel good about the running back room. It will be interesting to see who they go after. I know you probably want to go after the Anthony Rogers, the little 5'8" guy that's committed to Bama. And then who was the other dude? Oh, Mills Knight. Was it Shakai Mills Knight? They're definitely going to turn up the heat on him. So it really depends on what they want, Preston Bowman, the guy they just offered on Sunday. Is he in the mix? He could play running back. He's kind of a Xavier Johnson, jack of all trades kind of guy. So Odysseus says Des Jones will be a good one. Okay. I see that. I can't argue that. I just he was lower rated. So Christopher says Porter is a 5-star for real. I agree. He is like that big bodied Marvin Harrison type, So yeah, I like Porter big time. Steven says, wasn't Olave a low pick? Yeah, he was like a 3-star, I believe. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, ratings aren't everything. I am on record as saying, you can't live and die by the rankings and stars and all that shit. Stars do matter to a degree, but like just this past week, we went out and got 3 3-stars, development projects, but guys that want to be Buckeyes, and we talk about it, every year, especially the last 3 years. You want guys on that team in the locker room that live the rivalry, right? Buckeyes through and through, guys that dreamed of playing at Ohio State, wearing the silver, scarlet and gray, the silver hats. So, yeah, I think it definitely helps. Right now, I think we have 8. I counted 8 of the 21 commits are from the state of Ohio. So that's good. I don't know if you're ever going to get back to a 50-50 split. I don't know if that's realistic in the days of national recruiting now. You do have the quality coming back up in Ohio of high school recruits and high school players. So that's starting to pick back up. And going forward, it's really going to take off. Even in 2026, there's already a ton of good quality, players in the state of Ohio. Steven says Olave was a low pick. Yep. Billy, that recent clip of Des Jones making cuts was unreal. I haven't seen that one. I'll have to check that out. Lost my place. Oh, back up. Sorry. Damn. Got way behind. Sorry. Okay, here we go. Christopher says scum fans talking smack about Davison committing to Oregon. It's hilarious. Yeah. Yeah. Alfred loses again, comes in second. I wonder if they cooled on him like Ohio State did. Ohio State really cooled on him over the last week or so. Um, I think he was. I think he wanted to come to Ohio State, and I think they kind of backed off ever since his visit. And if he came in at 240, man, what are you doing? Are you even working out, bro? Do you lift? Jesus, if that's true. Christopher says Joe's prep is Buckeye prep. I like that. Saint Joe's prep. Like it. Who knew? Philly connection. Love it. Odysseus says they're desperate and no other time in the sun is coming to an end. Yeah. The cheaters, yeah, their time in the sun is coming to an end. They're trying to bounce back. The cheaters are. They've gotten a few commits here and there. They're not going to land anybody worth a shit. I'm not even worried about them. They're not going to finish in the top 10 in the country. Believe that. Um, Travis said, oh, whoops. Christopher says Desi has been making sweet content. I got to check that out. Travis says St. Joe's Buckeyes Prep School. There you go. Christopher says Sam Webb was him going to Ohio State. Has him going to Ohio State. Yep. We're talking about Roy, right? Maxwell Roy. Yeah. Tyler says it's Scam Webb, Joe. Yeah, scam. Always known as scam on this show for sure. Travis says Jack's got to be either Hicks or Sonny. I like that. Whoever can kill the quarterback fastest. That's what I'm about. And shut down the run. Troy says she's got the Jack. She's got the Jack. There you go. A little AC/DC for you on a Friday. That'll get you to drinking. Steve Cherry. What's up, Steve Cherry? Let's go, Joe. Good to see you back in the saddles. Good to see you back in the saddle, Steven. Thank you. Looking forward to the Sunday night shows, aren't you, Steven? Yeah. We've got to get Jeff and Sean back here in a couple of weeks. These guys have been lazy, lollygagging all summer. Billy says Knowles will have to use Jack to hold Hill's commitment. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You got to show that shit on tape, man. You got to show the Jack being used by somebody. Please, for the love of God. So Travis says if we lose Justin Hill, that was going to hurt my soul. If we lose him and McNutt, unacceptable. Yeah. I think McNutt's boat has sailed. So I don't know. McNutt didn't seem like he ever even wanted to be a Buckeye. He does. He's gonna book an official visit for the fall season. You know, probably a game day and shit. But I'm not holding out hope for him. Yeah, Billy, I agree. Billy says I don't think McNutt is realistic. No, I don't think he wants to be there. And his mom and dad don't seem to give a shit. His mom actually, from the rumors, his mom doesn't want him following in his dad's footsteps to Ohio State for whatever reason. Who knows? Sounds like something personal. Christopher says, I heard that Sanders Jr. called Tennessee on Monday to tell them he's committing to Ohio State, and they told him 7 mil. Now OSU is trying to match it. Jeez. I didn't think Sanders would come down to an NIL recruitment. You know, I thought I knew it. I mean, it's involved in every recruitment to some degree, but it seemed like the Sanders family wasn't really about that life, about the cash, you know. As long as Ohio State's in the ballpark, you know. Now, if Ohio State's only offering like 2 mil and Tennessee's offering 7, I get the reasoning to go the other direction. But yeah, 7 mil is a lot. But I guess they got that money in Knoxville. Did they break into Fort Knox or something? Get all that shit. Odysseus says, if we get Hill, Pettijohn, and Alfred, that's Heartline and Walton's territory for Laurinaitis. That's a good point. Yeah. Florida, Cincinnati. Exactly. So yeah, Walton gets the assist on those for sure. Christopher says there's two Auburn defensive commits just decommitted from there. Yeah, I didn't catch their names, but yeah, I saw that they were losing dudes. USC's losing dudes left and right. So, yeah, bring them on. Um, Doug says getting Autry would be pretty darn cool. I'm hoping his buddy Zion Grady can convince him to join the good guys. Yep, he's got like 5.5 months to work on Autry. So they train together in the off season. We'll see what happens. Tyler says, well, I'm actually more confident in Hill sticking with his commitment because Oregon was recruiting him at middle linebacker. That's fair. Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely not a middle linebacker. Christopher says he said teammates to Odom. Who's teammates to Odom? Oh, one of the Auburn decommits is a teammate of Odom. I'll have to check on that because that would be useful, right? Steven says McNutt reminds me of the Jackson Carman recruitment. He's not coming here. Exactly. That's a good comparison. You know, the Buckeyes were never in on Jackson Carman. That was really that was frustrating to see him go to Clemson back then because Clemson was our arch nemesis at that time, and see him go there, that was really freaking frustrating. But because you knew he was going to be an NFL lineman, right? Christopher says, no, I would say McNutt is out. I agree with that. Christopher also says Brew is committing this weekend. Okay. I haven't gotten a hard date on that, but that sounds good. I'm going to be really busy with some Breaking Boomz, but that's all right. So that gives the Buckeyes three corners if Brew commits, and Brew can play some safety as well, but he'll probably be that slot corner, taking over for Hancock. Billy says OSU should build a high-speed railway between Columbus and North Carolina. Sure. Sounds good. Get them faster. Get them there faster. And then they can run one down to Florida, right down the East Coast, I-95. Christopher says Stewart just said at Rivals Camp he loves Larry and especially Clark because he's from Louisiana. Yeah. Yeah, Jakeem Stewart, he is going to reclassify. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So I feel good about that. And again, if we start pulling these kids out of the South, like out of Louisiana, and Brian Kelly's a good freaking recruiter. I mean, I just mentioned their class is first in average per commit. So he's got Bryce Underwood, the number one quarterback, soon to be number two. Got him coming in the 25 class. So it's not like LSU is floundering down there, and not keeping kids home. But those high school kids grow up wanting to wear that purple and yellow shit. So yeah, if we land Stewart out of Louisiana, that's going to be a huge, huge coup. Doug says if Clark is great at his job, name him as an assistant defensive line coach. Yeah, definitely. The GA thing is going away for sure. It's going to become you're an assistant, second assistant, whatever. So yeah, that's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. Once they get this new rule implemented, the Buckeyes roll it out, and start giving people new assignments, new roles, new titles and shit. Doug says if Clark is assistant defensive line coach, it would help recruiting because he's the defensive line coach in waiting. Exactly. Yes, 100%. Billy agrees. Christopher agrees. Stephen Cherry says Chris Henry going to be special. His size is ridiculous for a wide receiver. Yeah. 6'6" already. And no, I don't want to hear anybody say tight end. No, do not say that. It's not a tight end. He's a wide receiver. Billy says, I think Clark is only 28. That's even better. Pipes are getting a little dry. No, that's not what she said. Christopher says OSU's been preparing for the coaching rules. They have Clark in at D line, Devin Jordan at wide receiver, Duhart at corners, and Drebno on O line. Yep. Mike Soleni is the GA on O line. He is definitely going to be. He's done a lot in recruiting. Say what you will about O line recruiting. I don't want to go down that road, but the dudes they have gotten are because of Mike Soleni getting the assist, right? So yes, and Drebno. And then you got Fessler, the quarterback coach, just coming over. They hired him like 2 weeks ago, something like that. Um, okay. Stephen Cherry has a good one. Which one of the five QBs will leave, Joe? Well, they can't leave until December. I don't know if any of them leave. I don't know. I Keenholes. That's it. Depends if Aaron Nolan is still homesick by late December. Maybe him. Maybe he wants to go back. I'm sure Georgia would take him with open arms. But I don't know. I think Keenholz is probably the guy, kind of the odd man out. Saying looks like he's going to be the real deal, and Ryan Day's going to do everything to keep him. NIL is probably going to have to chip in and drop some bags on these guys, but you're going to lose Will Howard after the season, so you're down to 4. I know you got Tavian St. Clair coming in January, so you're back up to 5. But I don't think Devin Brown's leaving. He burned his fucking boats. Keenholz is the only one. He's kind of squeezed. He's the guy in the middle. You know, so I think it's Keenholz if you want to paint me into a corner. And why would you paint me into a corner? It's not very nice. I'm just kidding. But yeah, that'd be my guess. Billy says if we replace Fry, it has to be with someone with recruiting ties to the South. Okay. Why does it have to be the South? I mean, I get your point. They do make big, fast dudes in the South more readily available, but there's a lot of good D linemen or O linemen in the Midwest. You know, there's some coming up in this 26 class next year that are going to turn your head. That's for sure. But yeah, I get your point, Billy. I don't have a preference on where they have ties to. Definitely having ties to the West Coast is not going to do you a lot of good. They don't make big dudes out there, right? I mean, the occasional Samoan, Polynesian types, but for the most part, your big dudes are east of the Mississippi, maybe Texas. Odysseus says, oh, just jumped ahead. God damn it. There we go. Odysseus says also the coaching rule changes should help with O-line development this year because now Drebno can coach the O-lineman up as well. Right. Yeah. You're going to get a lot of help, a lot of hands in the kitchen, a lot of hands on these guys, coaching them up. So, and there's no limit. So we could have 5 assistant O-line coaches if you wanted to. There is still a limit. I wanted to make sure this was clear because we didn't really talk about it. With the change in the coaching rules, you still can only have 11 recruiters on the road, regardless of their position. And that includes Ryan Day, the head coach. So the staffs still can only send 10 on the road plus the head coach. So that's still in place. So you can't just throw 30 dudes out on the road and take over a whole airplane. But just wanted to make sure that was clear. Christopher says West is a beast. Quadzilla. Yeah, he is Quadzilla. He doesn't miss a leg day, that's for sure. Billy says Jersey boys in general are underrated. Okay. Underranked. Yeah. Yeah, it is weird, especially the ones we brought in, Bonsu and those guys, McLean. Those guys are 4 stars, I think. But yeah, that Stewart, the safety that's coming in the 25 class, and Des Jones, both kind of underrated, right? I wonder why that is. Doug mentions that AJ Hawk was a 3-star. Yes, yes, he was, and turned into a longtime NFL player. You have those, you know. I I realize, I'm not trying to say that we shouldn't ever take a 3-star. I didn't say that, but you know, it helps. You got these guys that might be late bloomers. In the case of Bob Penn Miller, he just hasn't played wide receiver yet at all. He just picked it up like 4 months ago, and then he's going to go back to playing quarterback at his high school. So he's going to have to reacquaint himself with wide receiver after his football season. So, uh, yeah, these are projects. Jake Cook, the O lineman out of Westerville, he's a project. Still trying to get his body in shape. And Coach Mick will take care of that. But you know, Ohio guys, and they're hungry. They're hungry, Ohio guys. Odysseus says 24/7 lacks analysts for the northern states. Yeah. Yeah, they don't really have individual states. Don't they do like a Midwest? Don't they have like a Midwest analyst? They got the national guys, I know, but I thought they had like regional analysts. Maybe not. They should. They definitely should have at least regional, if not, hit your major states like Ohio, Texas, Florida, whatever. I agree. Christopher says, I like how Rivals evaluates talents after camp, after the eye test. Yeah. Yeah, that's what happened with Jay Cook. That's why he's up to a 4-star on Rivals, and they haven't updated his ranking anywhere else. So I think he's the number 9 interior O lineman according to Rivals, not on 24/7 or anything else. Christopher says, I heard Lachlan withdrew his commit for Davison. He turned down Davison's commitment. Maybe. I don't know about that. They put in a lot of time and effort with Davison over the last couple of years, that's for sure. Odysseus says, speaking of Benedict Alford, he claims he's the happiest he's been in a while. He whiffs on running back recruit after running back recruit. It's not a priority to him. He doesn't give a shit. Alford does not care about recruiting. It's obvious. He doesn't like getting on a plane and traveling. He obviously doesn't care. He just missed out on the top running back recruit in the class, regardless of how fat he is. So, I mean, who wouldn't want a 4-star top player at the position in their room? Alfred doesn't give a shit. It's hilarious. Yeah, he's the happiest he's been. All right. Billy says, heard Davison wanted a lot of NIL up front. It's probably true with a lot of these kids. I'm sure a lot of them want like that signing bonus, not surprised. Odysseus says, crying Sharona must not challenge him. No, probably not. Odysseus says, Thunderstruck, perfect song for football season. Yeah. Thunderstruck. Don't get me singing. I haven't had a drink yet. Otherwise, I would be. Christopher says it's hard because Jack Sawyer wasn't the best at the jack. That was fumbled from the beginning. That was Jack Sawyer at 260 is not a freaking jack position player. Yeah, they screwed that up entirely. Steven says, don't want Caleb Downs to get any running back reps. Ooh, concerned about injury, I take it. Yeah, I don't. I see, I think it's just a big shiny object Ryan Day threw out there in the middle of the room. It was like, here, look at this. I have nothing else to say. I think it's just like, he threw a grenade in the room and took off. But I don't expect Caleb Downs to get snaps at running back. Billy agrees. Christopher says Sanders Jr. made an Instagram post with eyes, said future teammates. Yeah, I think there's a question mark in there after teammates. But yes, I saw that. Billy saw that. Doug says if the $2 million NIL for Sanders is true, he can move his entire family to Ohio. That's a good point. Yeah. I was just throwing a number out there that I did not say that Ohio State offered him $2 million. Actually, I was just saying that if Tennessee offered 7, the Buckeyes should be in the ballpark. So, um, where goes one with a bunch of emojis? IOTU. I read that. Buckeye football 100 strong peace. Those are the emojis. Anyway, welcome to the show. Nice to see you. Christopher Sowers says, I hope we keep Nolan and San and TSC. Yeah, I think TSC is a lock. He's dreamed of playing in Columbus, So yeah, I feel good. Doug says, have to go help my older brother. He's not doing so well. Have a good one, everybody. Oh, sorry to hear that, Doug. We all keep him in our thoughts. We appreciate you. We appreciate your brother. Billy says, prayer hands, Doug. Christopher says, I think Emmanuel Iheanacho is going to reclassify, and he's a monster 5-star tackle. Ohio State is in on him. Yes. That one I'm not so sure about the reclassification, but bring it on. We'll take it for sure. Yeah, he's in on the Buckeyes. Christopher says Scum is bragging about their 4-star running back that has a torn ACL. Yeah, I know. Crazy. Billy says eyes on Emmanuel Iheanacho. Odysseus says, I notice most of the cheaters recruits are 24/7 3-stars, but low 4-stars in the composite. Wonder if on 3 is giving them a bump. Could be. Yeah, I don't know if maybe they're at rivals camps and rivals is giving them the bump. I don't know. Excuse me. I'm not sure. I really haven't paid attention to their class at all. I think they're inside the top 50 now, to be sure. They cracked the top 50 finally, right? Steven says 7 over 3 years. Oh, 7 mil for Sanders over 3 years. Not bad. Take that. Christopher says, I bet it probably close to 6 or 7 million NIL for the 3 to 4 years for Sanders Jr. Yeah. Yeah. Christopher says, prayer hands, Doug. Checking to see if there's anything new. Oh, I see. 4-star tackle Card Smith has decommitted from Auburn. 4-star linebacker Tyler Lockert has decommitted from Auburn. Not going well for Hugh Freeze. Jarquez Carter tweeted out photos of him on his official visit to Ohio State and his photo shoot. Interesting. And yeah, I don't know about Jarquez Carter. I'm not sure I feel good about that one. I'm just checking the boards here, see if there's anything new before we get out of here. I appreciate everybody coming in. Hey, please hit that like button. And if you want to make sure you're subscribed, that would be awesome. You know that like 75% of the people that watch my content are not subscribed. It's nuts. It doesn't cost you anything. I don't know. It's fine. It's all good. I'm not holding grudges. Odysseus says they're 17, but would be much lower without the composite ratings. Yeah, exactly. Stephen Cherry says, I don't think Oregon will be close. Their QB is overrated and their coach is too cocky. Buckeyes 48-24 over the Ducks. Quack, quack. That's awesome. Yeah. Um, I like that final score. I like a doubling up on the score, but yeah, I don't know. I don't like Dylan Gabriel whatsoever. He's just a little guy that runs around, typical. But yeah, I'm not worried about her. Christopher says Larry should throw a bag at Autry and Stewart. Oh, to be sure, there will be bags thrown at Autry and Stewart, no doubt. Where goes one? Have a great weekend. You too. Where goes one? Take care. Travis says, Joe, are you kind of impressed by DeBoer's recruiting so far? Nobody expected this. Yes, I am, actually. It's a good point. Um, I was going to see where they were at. They were up there. Yeah, they were third in the average per recruit. They've got 20 commits already, 2 5 stars, 14 4 stars. So that's right in line with typical Bama class. Say what you want. They might be different types of players, maybe more offensive heavy, maybe, different types of offensive players, but to accommodate DeBoer's style. But yeah, it is surprising. I really thought we were going to go in there and just fleece that entire state and everybody, the entire country. I thought would go in there and just start stealing guys, but no, DeBoer's held it down. He had some good relationships with some of their commits that were from out of state, like I think about Jackson Lloyd, the lineman out of California. That was a previous relationship they had. You got I'm just looking through some of their commitments here. Yeah, Dijon Lee out of California. Of course, you got your Georgia guys. Some of the more recent ones, Dawson Merritt. He's out of Kansas. You got a few Alabama guys. You got a guy out of Mater Dei. That's probably somebody that DeBoer's been working on. He just committed this month. Anthony Rogers, he's been committed for over a year, but he's an Alabama guy. Micah DeBose just committed. He's an Alabama guy, but born and grew up a few years of his life, anyways, in Cleveland, Ohio. So anyway, yeah, they gone up to Maryland. Got a dude. So yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see how they finish this class off. You notice that he's loading up on the class now. Remember, Saban used to wait and wait and wait and take his time, and then they would just close with just flurries of 5 stars, 4 stars, and close and finish in the top 2 or 3. That's not happening now. They're starting off hot. So yeah. Odysseus says Gabriel will have a hard time seeing over Tyleek Moore, Canoe, Malone, and Hamilton. Yeah, exactly. Christopher says Saban's still in the building. Also, occasionally, yeah. I don't think he's there day to day. Yeah, yeah. I saw DeBose with the Ohio State gear at the rivals camp. That was low class. So anyway, but all right, I'm gonna get on out of here. Go pour a drink. So you guys have a good weekend, and we will talk to you later. Go Bucks.